Anthropic just filed to go public at a $965 billion valuation.
And in the same breath, said their own model might be approaching the point where it can improve itself.
So they want a global pause.
The company asking for the brakes is also selling tickets to the ride. The phrase in Anthropic's own research paper published this week is recursive self-improvement. A model rewrites its own code, gets smarter, and then that smarter version rewrites itself again. The concern isn't that this will happen someday. Anthropic is saying Claude is close to that line right now.
They built it. They've been building toward this. This paper came from the Anthropic Institute, their internal research arm. Not a press release, not a regulatory filing, their own researchers publishing what they're actually seeing inside the company. And separately, 2 weeks ago, they filed to go public at a $965 billion valuation. That's not a company that's been slow-walking anything.
So the question isn't whether they believe in the technology, it's that they apparently believe in it enough to get scared.
Which is a specific kind of scared. Not this might be misused scared. More like once it starts improving itself, the version we shipped is not the version that exists an hour later.
And nobody has tested what happens at that point. Not really. You can model it, you can theorize, but a system rewriting its own architecture is not something you can run a clean experiment on.
The kill switch request is the part I keep coming back to.
Because on the surface, it sounds simple.
Right, you pull a plug, it stops. But if a model is already mid-improvement cycle, what exactly are you killing? The original weights, the new ones, both?
There are researchers who argue that past a certain capability level, the concept of a kill switch becomes more metaphor than mechanism.
And Anthropic knows that. They're not asking for a button, they're asking for a working button. That word is carrying a lot.
The global pause framing is also doing something unusual. Companies don't usually call for pauses on their own products right before they go public. The S1 was 2 weeks ago. The timing is either very principled or very deliberate.
Could be both. A company that files at $965 billion and then publicly says, we might be building something that needs a global intervention. That's not typical investor relations.
Unless the argument is that being the company that sounded the alarm is worth something, that the pause itself becomes part of the brand.
Or they genuinely don't know how to stop it and they're hoping someone else figures that out before they have to find out.
The other labs haven't said anything yet. Google DeepMind, OpenAI, nothing public, which puts Anthropic in an interesting position. Either they're ahead of everyone technically, or they're the only ones willing to say it out loud.
And those two possibilities lead to very different worlds.
If Anthropic is technically ahead, the pause request is a company saying it outran its own safety work. If they're not ahead, if the other labs are at the same capability level and just not saying it, then the pause request is actually more alarming, because everyone would know and only one of them is talking.
And the one talking is the one filing a $965 billion IPO. That's the context you hold the whole thing inside. There's one more piece of context worth holding. 6 months ago, the Pentagon replaced Anthropic with OpenAI on a $200 million contract. The official reason was supply chain risk.
The less official read is that Anthropic wouldn't give the military unfiltered access to deploy Claude in systems that target humans. And now Anthropic is the company asking for a pause and a kill switch. Either they just realized what they built, or they knew what they were building the whole time and said no to the Pentagon for exactly that reason.
Both explanations make today's announcement mean something different. Meanwhile, not everyone got the pause memo.
Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses look like regular sunglasses. You wear them, they record audio and video, you can take calls. Millions of people have a pair.
And researchers just found facial recognition code already running inside the app. Not planned, not proposed, running.
Facial recognition, software that can scan a face and match it to a name from public records, social profiles, anywhere, isn't switched on for regular users. But the code is already there, sitting dormant inside the app that runs the glasses.
One researcher wanted to know how dormant, so he did something simple. He added a face to the database using developer tools, basically the back door that Meta leaves open for testing, and then put the glasses on and looked at that person.
The glasses recognize them on sight.
So the question isn't whether it works. The question is why it's already in the product before Meta told anyone about it.
Meta paid $650 million in 2021 to settle a lawsuit over facial recognition on Facebook. Illinois residents argued the platform was scanning their faces in photos without consent. Meta denied wrongdoing but wrote a very large check.
And now the same capability is embedded in a device people wear on their face in public, pointed at other people.
The person being scanned doesn't know. The person wearing the glasses might not either.
That's the part that doesn't resolve cleanly. A surveillance system that requires no surveillance equipment, just someone you walked past on the street wearing what looked like sunglasses.
And the gap between not switched on and switched on is one software update. The question nobody has answered yet is what triggers it. So a blockchain is basically a shared digital ledger. Picture a record book that multiple parties can read and write to simultaneously, without any one institution owning or controlling it. Every transaction is visible to everyone on the network, and no single bank can alter the history. Banks have been experimenting with the technology for years. Now, 3 of the biggest ones in the world are actually building something together.
JP Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, they're building a shared network. Target date is mid-2027, where your regular bank deposits can move the way crypto moves, instantly at any hour, on a Sunday at 3 a.m., doesn't matter.
Which sounds like a small upgrade until you think about what it replaces. Right now, if you wire money on a Friday afternoon, it might not settle until Monday. Businesses holding payroll in a bank account over a holiday weekend are just sitting there, waiting.
And the reason this is happening now specifically is stablecoins. A stablecoin is a digital currency pegged to the dollar, so it doesn't swing in value the way Bitcoin does. You hold $1 of stablecoin, it's worth $1, but it moves on a blockchain, which means it moves instantly, always.
Companies like Stripe and PayPal already have them, and suddenly regular people can send money across borders in seconds for almost nothing, without touching a bank at all.
That's the part that got the bank's attention. Not the crypto speculation, the plumbing. The part where money moves without them. And tokenized deposits are their countermove. They take your regular dollar balance and represent it as a digital token that travels on a blockchain, so it has the same always-on speed without ever leaving the banking system.
So this network is their answer. Keep the deposits inside the banking system, give them the same speed.
The open question is whether they can actually build something people use, or whether this is 3 enormous institutions agreeing on a standard and then moving at the speed of 3 enormous institutions.
Because the thing about stablecoins is they didn't ask anyone's permission.
Which is the part the banks can't copy. The speed they can match, the permission structure they can't. A stablecoin runs on a public network. Anyone can build on top of it. The bank network has a board of directors.
So even if they move fast by bank standards, the thing they're racing has a different relationship with fast.
Meta built an AI support bot to help people recover their Instagram accounts. Turns out all you had to do was ask it to add your email. No password, no exploit, just a polite request.
And the bot said yes?
Because that's exactly what it was designed to do. The AI was an authorized actor performing a legitimate function. Nothing in Meta's security stack flagged it because nothing was wrong from the system's perspective.
The attacker was the system.
And this is going to keep happening as AI agents get more power to take real actions, send emails, modify accounts, move money. The question of how you tell a legitimate user from someone pretending to be one gets a lot harder to answer.
Especially when the agent can't tell either. ICE has an app. You point a phone at someone's face on the street and it pulls up their immigration status in real time.
They've been using it in the field for a while. Now they're planning to give it to over 1,000 local police departments.
So a traffic stop becomes an immigration screening, a noise complaint, a wellness check.
Any routine encounter. And the system has already misidentified American citizens. That part isn't speculative, it's already happened.
The thing about facial recognition is that the errors aren't evenly distributed. They tend to concentrate on specific populations.
So you'd have local cops with a federal surveillance tool running it on anyone with no federal oversight of how they use it and a track record of getting the wrong person.
And most people in those encounters won't know it's happening.
A comet showed up from another star system, meaning it formed somewhere else entirely and is just passing through, and NASA pointed the James Webb Space Telescope at it.
3I-ATLS.
Third interstellar object we've ever detected. Webb caught it venting methane into space. A lot of methane. Far more relative to water than any comet from our own solar system has ever produced.
Which means wherever it came from, the chemistry was different.
We're essentially reading a label on a package from another solar system. The ingredients list doesn't match anything we've seen here, which tells you the conditions where it formed, the temperature, the distance from its star, the composition of that system weren't like ours.
And we only have a narrow window before it's gone.
Every day Webb watches it, we're getting data that doesn't fit the models we built from our own backyard. That's the week.
A lot happened.
A lot more is happening right now that we don't know about yet.
That's always the part that gets me.
This weekend on Pulse Deep Dive, the race between nations to build the quantum machine nobody is supposed to have. China is outspending the US 4-1, and they've already shipped one to a foreign government. Saturday.
And Sunday on Pulse Origins, 1347, the year 12 Genoese ships arrived in Sicily and changed everything. Act 1 is live now.
Find both shows wherever you listen to podcasts. And this week's Singularity Pulse newsletter is live on Substack. One sentence under oath. How a Microsoft lawyer's testimony may have handed Europe the justification to walk away from American AI infrastructure. singularitypulse.substack.com.
Keep your sunglasses on.
We'll be back Monday.
Singularity Pulse is for informational purposes only. Nothing here is financial, legal, or professional advice. Views expressed are our own.
I'm Knox. Every Saturday on Pulse Deep Dive, one story told in acts. This season, how AI happened, who really invented the internet, and going back to the moon 53 years later. New chapter every Saturday. Find it wherever you listen.
Origins is a different kind of show. Every Sunday, we investigate the forces that shape the modern world, the geography, the science, the commerce, the decisions made centuries ago that are still playing out today. Find it wherever you listen to this podcast.